Hello. I wonder, do you have a favourite poem, a passage from the Bible, or a reflection that you'd like to share with us in the wider community? If so, why don't you send it to me and I'll make sure that we post it on our YouTube or Facebook pages. Today, Anthony Andrews, one of our authorised lay ministers, shares with us one of his favourite poems and also a little bit about his life of faith. Thank you, Anthony.
Several years ago I purchased some books, church books from SPCK, and they came with a complimentary bookmark, and on that bookmark is printed rather a nice story which I'd like to share with you. One night a man had a dream. He dreamed that he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene he saw two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and the other to the Lord. But as he looked back over the path of his life, he saw that sometimes there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that this happened at the lowest and saddest times of his life. This really troubled him, and he asked the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I began to follow you, you would walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most difficult times of my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand. Why, when I needed you most, would you leave me? The Lord replied, My precious, precious child, I love you and would never leave you. During the times of trial, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I was carrying you. That's a lovely little story, and one I keep in my book of Common Worship Prayers and often reflect on. As I got older, and now at the nice age of 82 and a half, I have time to reflect, possibly more than I did in a rather busy business life. And during that reflection, I do feel closer to somebody looking after me spiritually, mentally, and helping me along the ways. I've had an interesting life. I've had a troubled life. I lost my father when I was doing national service, which was a bit of a shock, and my mother several years later, and went into business and did a lot of travelling around the world. So I've been very fortunate to see many things. But in the latter years, since I have wound down my work experiences, and in fact I retired just before I was 80, I have felt closer to the church. In fact, 10 years ago this September, I was made an authorised lay minister. I never knew I wanted to be an authorised lay minister, but I went on a 17-week bishop's course to understand faith and religion a bit more. And during that course, we had the option to follow on to several smaller courses, one of which was authorised lay ministry, and I, amongst several others, decided to follow that route and were authorised that September 2010. I don't regret that, and I do feel privileged to have been able to do that course and worship with others and enjoy the fellowship of the church. And I hope you will do as well, not only during this coronavirus, but continually, and grow in your faith and worship.